Hello and welcome back to Carbonite Ultra U. In this video, we want to talk about switcher modes and understanding which each switcher mode, now that with version 4, we have additional options. So let's go ahead, jump straight into it and get started. Okay, so now that we've come inside dashboard and we've loaded up our Ultra, you'll notice on the first page, we have the status page. The status page gives us a lot of information of the product, but one of the things that has been asked before is, well, what's a switcher mode? So obviously, what software version, serial number, and engine type is very clear. Engine type was also, there are a Carbonite Black, a Black Plus, a Plus 12G. We've got the original Carbonite, Carbonite Plus, Carbonite Multimedia, and Carbonite Extreme. So it makes it helpful to be able to tell which engine you're running, more for support, quickly looking it up. However, switcher modes are something we introduced in the Carbonite Black, as well as the original Carbonite series, as a means to reconfigure the product. By loading different modes, we can change the feature set and functionality, thus making this a software-defined product. When we go to configuration, on the first tab, System, and the sub-tab of Configuration, you'll notice your first option is to pick which switcher mode you want to operate in. There is a dedicated mode for standard definition. Now, when you're operating in HD or in UHD, you can still accept SD signals. It's just you won't have the ability to select a standard definition video rate. For that, you have to go to the specific SD mode. Now, in version 3, we introduced UHD. And again, we run a separate mode so that we could reconfigure the product and dial in the feature set that was necessary for that functionality. With the introduction of the audio mixers, we still have an audio mixer capability in both the HD and UHD modes, but we don't have sample rate converters. Now, I need sample rate converters when I have sources, so when I go to my inputs, and if I have a source that I'm going to frame sync, and I want that source to still pass its audio. All 16 channels need to be available into our audio mixer. Now, to do this, there was a compromise, and that compromise was having to give up the format converters for output 7 through 14. So by giving up those output down converters, that allowed us the opportunity to enable sample rate converters on all 24 inputs tied to those 24 frame sync and format converters. So when we go back and look at our modes, that's the difference between our HD and HD with sample rate converter mode. If I run in HD, I'll still have access to all my output converters, and I'll still have access to all of my input-based frame syncs. I just won't be able to maintain audio of sources that I frame sync. Now, depending on how you bring in your audio, this may not be an issue. Next up, you have your UHD mode, and it applies in that same realm that you will be giving up an extra format converter to implement the sample rate conversion in UHD. Also, with the new video modes that we've introduced for 6 gig signals, being able to do the half frame rate, the 30 frames, 24p, 2398, all of those frame rates in UHD also need to use this switcher mode. So that's why you'll see UHD, SRC, and 6 gig rates. Once you've selected your switcher mode, the switcher will reboot to bring itself into that mode and the desired feature set which it brings along with it. With that, we're going to come to an end of this episode of Carbonite Ultra U. Hope it explains how switcher modes work and why we have them. As always, if you have any questions, please send those to switchers@rossvideo.com. Also, we take recommendations and suggestions for videos that you'd like to see. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.